Hey, my name is Jeremy Lavager, and I'm going to walk you guys through my website today. Uh, my degree is AFA in photography, and I have dual tracked on a couple other courses, so doing some eclectic classes. Here we have my name, a little catchphrase, finding the obscure, down to my bio statement. Jeremy Lavager is a mixed medium artist living in the Pacific Northwest. Spending his seminal years living in various Section 8 housing complexes and now conspicuously missing trailer parks, Mr. Lavager found himself in the Air Force during the height of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Later serving a significant sentence at Walla Walla State Penitentiary, these days he is a father and a CWU graduate working in a nonprofit field. These things inform his art greatly and provide perspective that can be seen in the works he creates, which focus on transformation, humor, and the hidden power of capturing the uncommon. For my artist statement, I have a mixed medium artist and a photographer who specializes in getting unique perspectives out of the mundane. My life has taken me through a full breadth of experiences, having seen war, homelessness, parenthood, prison. My art expresses change and form through shifts of perspective. I use portraiture and objects to create narratives about crisis and transitions. Art can empower those who have not been seen or understood with complexity and intimacy. I have come to know myself and others with more compassion and understanding through art. Art is uniquely positioned to influence perception, sometimes encouraging people to think about an issue from a perspective, sometimes making people see an issue previously hidden from their view. My art takes the same tactic. I find things that are usually hidden away or are so common that they go unnoticed and capture them using light and angles, which I hope are equally uncommon. Here we have some of my resume, which showcases a bit of my education and the couple exhibitions that I've been able to be in, as well as my more commonly used website and a little bit of contact information. I also provide additional contact information at the bottom here. I'm going to walk you guys through my actual portfolio. We have this, any other name, which is a photograph, a studio photograph of a leather rose. This image uses a soft but direct light to create specular highlights on the otherwise matte material. Unfocused background allows for contrasting color to the red and the rose. Jagged edge. Close image of something metal, a degree of abstraction is created by the close vantage point. Almost indistinct lines from the ribbing on the metal along the stick create implied lines that draw the eye across the image while bisecting the line of value, contrast, breaks up what otherwise might be muddled texture. The dark value negative space at the right creates a symmetrical balance of the composition. It also employs the rule of thirds. Place the area of interest in the photograph. Armor of paper, a heavy contrast from light to darkness creates the focus on the dress itself. The dress's own lines draw the eye up and down the model, obscuring her proportions. Geometric patterns create additional texture in what would otherwise be smooth material. Bearing fruit, an image of fruit desaturated and a flat light source create a lack of texture in this image that is contrasted by its subject matter. The depth of field is shallow, allowing for a slight blurring at further points near the edges. Color choices draw the eye towards the nature of the subject matter. The blue haired lady, a studio image, technically done with a soft single light source in the front right. Shadow cast across the woman's face, and her hair creates the majority of the texture in this image, while its color and value provide interest. The chain, a low vantage point, and shallow depth of field creates a strong focal point that leads the eye deeper into the space using one point perspective. The obstructions at the left and right provide contrast and support the leading the eye into the center. The woman in this picture, unhelpful coherence. The woman in this picture separates the two screens, which are the primary subjects. The deep red creates emotional tone, while the words themselves create deeper meaning. South Aurora. White streaks draw the eye to the slight left focal point of this image. Following the rule of thirds strongly, the grayscale is full of little quirks of light. Sundress, a captured shot of a young lady spinning, her dress frozen, but allowing for a slight blur that creates motion within the picture, like contrast with her face, which appears at a fixed angle. Green and the grass and dress complement each other by their values. This is one of my, what do we call it? Concentration pieces. There's a lot of Photoshop done here to make the photograph appear as though it was done in the nickel collodion style. Rogue Instinct, a portrait of a woman taken with natural light but adjusted for color and clarity. This image uses a consistent color scheme. Open hall, classic long hallway shot with the repetition of dark value shapes on the ground, supporting the repetition of shapes above, and leading the eye deeper into the center. This is one of my other focus concentration pieces, taken out of my 2D design class. The reflected woman. The lines draw to what might be a face and therefore inform on what might be a body. The contrasting colors and values play on each other to make an interesting texture nonetheless. Values of positive and negative space obscure which is the figure and which is the foreground. This is done in the Natan style, which I had a great deal of fun using an X-Acto knife to try and carve these out. Hard water, this image creates leading lines down and across the water, and then along the stick. The drop lens cap represents the final destination for the eye. Waist, subtle leading lines move the eye away from the close focus of this image, off into the distance. The subject matter add weight and substance to what would otherwise just be a shot of some refuse. Contrast adjustments bring additional shadows while creating more depth in the foliage. Window, a strong focal point is created by the both value contrast and concentric framing. The variance of cool hues and light sources adds complexity with what I hope for is an eerie quality to this image. Deconstructed lunch. This studio composition reflects a minimalist tableau of food, consistent value across the objects in the photo, mute the differences in texture, even as soft shadows create contrast in those same places. Relax. The central focus is a candle. This leads the eye down the hand and the wine, then up to the legs, creating a leading line from foreground to background. Slight color corrections were used to bring out warmth in this image. Curious, a picture of a young girl staged with a portable flash for effect. The glow of the flash creates a focal point. The difference between the values in the hair and the foliage create a great deal of contrast. The spiral lines create an interesting tunnel effect towards an undefined focal point and source of light at the back of this image. The soft colors are diffused throughout, and the gradients draw the eye using principles of repetition and prolific value contrasts create leading lines throughout. And that's what's my last image. Here we just go down. We see that I've done the website so that it shows the captions and descriptions of each image. Well, just my contact information at the bottom and a few links you can use to get to some of my other materials. Hope you've enjoyed my presentation, and I look forward to hearing feedback or any other kind of input in the future. Hope everybody has a great day.